Now it's time to introduce the student scholars who wish to address their classmates. Emma Albertson, Mackenzie Chateauvert, Josiah Hager, and Jordan Howard.
Okay. Before I even started writing the speech, I told myself I was not going to mention a single thing about the pandemic because we could all use a few minutes without it. But after sitting and staring at the wall for what seemed like forever, I couldn't figure out any other way to describe our senior year. The year that we have dreamed of since 7th grade orientation ended up being the hardest year of our lives. It's hard to figure out what the next step in your life will be when the rest of the world is so uncertain. I think we can all agree that we felt really unsure of ourselves more than once this year, and maybe even disappointed that we couldn't just have it all figured out. There have been a lot of moments in the past few months where the motivation was gone and we weren't sure how we were ever going to finish high school. I learned that in the moments like these, it's important to stand back and take a second to look at everything you have accomplished to get to that point. Maybe you had a really bad night, but still woke up for school the next morning. Or that paper last week that you thought you could never finish, you still got it done. As the rest of our lives begin today, I encourage each of us to be proud of what we have done so far, rather than being frustrated at ourselves in the difficult moments. Even though our senior year was nothing like we always dreamed of, we still managed to make a ton of memories. Standing here now, I can still think of countless moments during the past year that will stay with me for a lifetime. Memories like these could never have been made by myself, and because of that, I owe a lot of gratitude to the people in my life. Thank you to my parents for always pushing me to find success and teaching me how to be a hardworking individual. I love you more than you'll ever know, and I am extremely grateful to have been raised by you both. Thank you, Brian, for letting me barge right into your room and talk about my day, and for the best car ride jam sessions. Thank you to my friends and their parents for always welcoming me into your homes and giving me food. Also, thank you to each of the teachers and staff at Marlette for always being willing to give me extra guidance and treating me as a person rather than just a student. Lastly, to my classmates, thank you for constantly making me laugh and giving me memories that most people can only dream of. I would like to end this speech by wishing each of you the best of luck as you move on to the next chapter of your life. This past year forced us to grow up a little faster than we planned on, and I'm sure we are all still a little unsure of how our future will look. But I encourage each of us to focus on the good parts of life. We all just firsthand experienced how fast high school flies by. And I'm sure life isn't slowing down, so let's enjoy it while we can. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2021.
Good evening, or good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, administration and teachers. Before I begin, I would like to take a moment to thank all the wonderful people who have encouraged me to get to this point. Thank you to my moms, dads, grandparents, aunts and uncles, siblings, teachers, and my friends. You all have never gave up on me and have lifted me through all my hardships. I don't think I would be where I am today without you guys by my side, so thank you. To continue, and told friends wrote, to accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. I chose this quote because you need to have dreams, and you need to believe that you will achieve your dreams in order to achieve everything you desire. Our class of 2021 has been through many obstacles. I'm so proud to be graduating with this amazing group of individuals. We did it, guys. We survived high school and are now ready to explore what else the world has in store for us. When entering into the new world, everyone needs to have dreams and goals they wish to accomplish. When you set your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. We're a strong group of persevering people that will do great things and change the world for the better. Some of us already have an idea of what we are going to do and what we want to become. And some of us have no idea what we want to do or what will we do next. Both of these are good as long as you have a dream. You don't have to know exactly what you want. You just need to have a dream in sight, somewhere you wish to end up. Getting to your dream can be done in many different ways. Some paths are harder than others, but in the end, it is not about how you get to where you're going, but where you end up. I encourage everyone to shoot for the stars and never give up. You all have accomplished so much already, and it's only the beginning. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for us.
Good afternoon. I'd like to start my speech by thanking a few people in my life. First off, my parents for always pushing me to be the best person that I can be. My grandparents for teaching me many values, including work ethic, honor, responsibility, and many more. My siblings for always being the friends I knew I would have no matter what happened. My girlfriend Brooke for always being a rock to lean on and someone who pushes me to be the best version of me. And lastly, but certainly not least, thank you to everyone that helped me achieve my dream of the United States Air Force Academy. This includes teachers, administrators, coaches, friends, pastors, and many, many more. Dwight Eisenhower notably once said, "Optimism and pessimism are infectious, and they spread more rapidly from the head down than in any other direction." Likely you have heard something like this before, that you should be optimistic, and the more optimistic you are, the more optimistic those around you will be. However, today I would want to point out the pessimism aspect of Eisenhower's quote. If you are always looking at the negative side of a situation and not what good can come out of it, not very many people are going to want to be around you or work with you. It creates an environment where those surrounding you or those on your team are unable to be optimistic and present new ideas. And new ideas are what we need in every situation. Many people today are so fixated on their own way of doing things or their own opinion that they had never truly hear the other side or other opinions at all. These people will never grow and advance through life to reach their full potential. In order to reach our full potential, we have to be able to open our minds to new possibilities, to the idea that we might be wrong, and that we can do this without diminishing our intelligence or our abilities. Now, this doesn't mean by any stretch that you have to just agree with someone who says you're wrong. What it does mean, however, is that you can disagree with someone and still love them, respect them, and work with them. No matter what we do in life from here on out, it's not going to be easy. There are going to be times that we feel cheated, robbed, offended, and mistreated. So what it comes down to is, how are you going to respond to these circumstances? Are you going to point out every single way that you were wronged and how much you didn't get what you think you deserved? Or are you going to be a leader who focuses on the good and keeps a positive attitude? One of these two options will open many doors throughout life, while the other will surely close them. Do you want to be the person who nobody can have a conversation with because you are so fixated on your opinions? Or do you want to be the person who people know they can come to with concerns, ideas, criticisms, and support? The choice is yours to make, and it all starts with your outlook on every situation. Are you going to be the pessimist, or are you going to be the optimist? Because whatever you choose, I promise you, it will affect every aspect of your life and the lives of those around you.
Well, Marlette class of 2021, we've made it. The moment we've all been waiting for, though some of us are fearing it. Graduation day is upon us. I'd like to give a brief thanks to all the friends, family, and staff who have showed up to share this wonderful day with us. Finding the words to write this speech has been one of the hardest things I've had to do in the last 13 years of my education. There is just too much to mention, and this speech will not encapsulate everything that I wanted to speak about today. Personally, I am filled with emotion, memories, and I can't help but reminisce and recall all of the joys, sadnesses, embarrassments, and of course the occasional heartbreak that I'm sure that all of our young hearts have experienced at one point or another in high school. From watching my classmates urinate on desks in 4th grade to accidentally hitting them in the head playing kickball, I've made so many fond memories in my childhood here at Marlette. However, as time goes on, we grow, we mature, and of course, we still make fond memories. I remember how proud I was to become the drum major of our bands and how it made me feel to have the band under my direction at our football games. I can't help but feel overjoyed at what going to school in this area has brought me. I made some of my closest friends because of the fact I went to school here, and I guess I wouldn't have made those friends if I wouldn't have made those friends. I wouldn't have gotten rocked in the head by a literal rock while picking rocks out of a field by the one, the only, Patrick Cummings. I would have never had the chance to ride over to the Cummings house just to sit in their driveway and talk with Dustin for 5 hours about absolutely nothing. There isn't much that will ever compare to receiving an education here at Marlette. Most, if not all of us, have had to sit through at least half to 3/4 of a class just listening to Mr. Berry speak before actually starting the assignment. And for those of us that were there, we will never forget all of Mr. Boyle's stories and being called one of the worst classes at the time that ever walked through the halls of Marlette Junior Senior High School. We will never forget the first time we used a Bunsen burner, or how hard Mrs. Wilson's tests seemed to be. These are memories that will stick with me, and I hope will stick with all of you for the rest of your lives. However, I do not think we are recognized as one of the worst classes to roam the halls anymore. I'd say we age well. In fact, I would say that we are one of the best. The size of our class makes it unique. It makes it so that we all know each other's names when we pass each other in the hallway. It makes it so we all know each other on a much more personal level. That is what should be important. As a class, we have one of the greatest senses of togetherness. As a class, we have faced some of the hardest times that any class has in history.
With the rise of COVID in March of last year, we had to learn and adapt to the new challenges that faced us. We had to proceed with education, but in a much more difficult and emotionally charging way. We fought to stay strong and keep motivated, and that is something we can take with us for the rest of our lives. We now know how it feels to be disappointed from the times we had homecoming rescheduled, getting shut down for what seems like 100 times, and almost not having prom. That makes us stronger than ever and ensures that we will be able to overcome as many hardships as life has to throw at us. But here we are now, at the end of our educational journey with Marlette. Though it may not be what we expected to be 2 years ago, not only should this speech recognize the past, but it should also recognize the future, as that is much more important than anything in our lives right now. We have a lot to look forward to: college, the workforce, or whatever else kids do these days after they graduate. One of the things that we should all keep in mind is hope. These times have been harder than ever on everyone, but there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. The days passing will not stop, and the sun will come up every morning, even as cheesy and cliche as it sounds. We only have one life, and that life is all we have ahead of us today. Make sure that you do something that you find joy in and stay motivated in these hard times, because one life is all we have. The last thing I want from any of you is for you to grow old and regret what happened in your life. Life is valuable. Do what makes you happy. Enjoy the world and the marvels that man has created. So I'd like to thank you, class of 2021, for making the last 13 years of my life the best and most memorable years of my life.